What's up, guys? Welcome to a Wednesday coffee talk session. And wow, what a week. Not just this week, but we just literally wrapped up our 7-day content creation challenge. And it was amazing. It was a lot of work, but well worth it. And probably one of the best live trainings that we've done this far. And the material was great. The workbooks were great. The downloads were great, all of that stuff. But really also everything just went so smooth. We used the same thing that I'm streaming here, but we just streamed into that group. That worked really well. So just so many things worked really well. I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenge today, about as far as how it went. We're going to kind of do a little wrap up. But the one thing that I'm going to be talking about today, and I'm actually going to turn this into a podcast episode. So I kind of have it all mapped out. It does go with content. So we did talk about content, but we are going to be going a little bit of a different direction. And this came from a coaching call, actually a coffee coaching call that I did with someone that I met at my daughter's volleyball who lives here locally. And he wanted to sit down and get some advice for his business. He has a business, wants to get more leads. And I started talking about this paid content strategy and I kind of laid it all out for him. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go over that on one of the coffee talks because I think it'll be valuable. And I think I should probably record it as a podcast episode. So I have it all mapped out here. And that's what I'm going to be covering here today on this coffee talk. And I titled it Strategy for Using Paid Content to Get Customers. And this was from a recent coaching call I did with, a guy I just met at my daughter's volleyball here locally. And we did a beach tournament together. And then he asked me what I do. I told him a little bit. And then he said, wow, is there any way I could sit down with you and kind of give you my idea of what I'm doing and maybe what else I could do to bring in more customers? And I said, sure, I'd love to. It turned into a piece of content because I'm going to create it today, right now for you guys. You guys can kind of hear what I had told him. I also have another podcast episode I'm going to be doing, which kind of stems off of this, because after I laid this out for him, he's like, there's a guy that I know that would really need this for his business. So you don't actually do this. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I go, I don't want to have an agency. And he's like, man, you really could. And I said, yeah, I go, because I'm explaining this to you right now and you want to do it, but you just don't know how. And maybe you don't want to do it, but you want someone else to do it. And you could hire someone like me to do it. And he's like, oh, absolutely. I would hire you in a second. So that got me thinking. I'm like, I wouldn't do this, but it was a good idea, is that if I took my knowledge of doing this type of marketing for a business, I could get 10 businesses, probably charge them like $3,000 a month. That could be a $30,000 a month business. Now I'd have 10 businesses I'd have to deal with. I'd have to probably hire people. I don't want to go down that road, but I could. All right. We always talk about building your skill set. That's a skill set. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. This is also going to be, like I said, a little wrap up from the challenge. It worked out really, really well. If you are watching this and you're part of you were part of the challenge, just wanted to say, first off, thank you. It was amazing. All of you that were alive and you guys attended, it was amazing. We're actually going to be doing a full debrief inside of Brand Creators Academy, probably in about a week. Chris and I will get on. We'll get on with our members. We're just going to break down why we did it and more of the numbers and how you can apply this to your own business. I actually just wrote an email this morning a little bit about the backstory, which I'll elaborate here in a minute. But anyway, let me know. Did you guys attend the challenge? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let me know if you were someone that went through the challenge and if you are wanting to go through the challenge. Currently, right now, we are not running the challenge anymore. We are going to turn it evergreen here pretty soon, where we'll do it where you can join and go through it. It'll be, for 7 days, just like we went through live. But you can get access to that later. But right now, we're closing it just so we can get things kind of situated, make sure everything is running properly. And then also all of our attention is going back into Brand Creators Academy, which if you did attend live and you're not part of Brand Creators Academy, better check your inbox because you got a special invitation there, a special offer as well. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So let's see here. We got Salma. I know Salma was there. Salma, how are you making out with your content so far? Did you get your homework done? Kyle says the challenge was fantastic. Awesome, Kyle. And Kyle, thank you for the video that you posted. I watched it. And to be honest with you, I kind of want to use it for a testimonial for the challenge, but also for, someone that's interested in joining BCA, because I know that you want to join BCA. Karen, good morning. One of our BCA members. What's up? Salma, are you going to do more challenges or low-cost workshops? Not sure yet. We're going to kind of take a breath, and it's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. We've done now 3 different types. You're part of them. And there's things that we like about the workshops. There's things we like about the challenge. So we have to kind of balance it out and see. And who knows, we might even teach something that goes through and shows you how to create your own workshop or your own challenge. So we're thinking about that too, but we're going to take a break. Let's see here. I'm still outlining the stage. Love the step-by-step and keeping on track. Yes, it is really helpful. What's up, Gio? Another one of our members of BCA. Good morning, Ruth. Another member of BCA. And Kyle says, I'll make you another testimony. Well, I appreciate that. Always good to hear words from someone else's mouth that have either been through a training. And one of the things that you said, Kyle, which I really loved, is that you said, well, I'm not even sure if I should be saying this, but I feel like you didn't charge enough. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want you to feel. I want you to feel like I spent $37 or $47 and I probably should have paid $400, right? I always want people to feel that way, because that means that that you got an extreme value. And also it makes you realize that when you join Brand Creators Academy, you're going to get that level of support and you're going to get that level of training. Alejandro says, attended all the workshops, well worth it. Yes. Boom, Alejandro. Kate, another one of our members. What's up, Kate? Kay is in the house. What's up, Kay? All right, cool. So let me just, first off, before I get into today's content, if you guys are just joining me today, what I'm going to be talking about, and this is going to turn into a podcast, is the strategy for using paid content to get customers on the internet. All right. And I'm going to kind of go over a recent coaching session. Really, it was in person. It was at a coffee shop. It's at Starbucks, with a guy that my daughter's daughter did a beach volleyball tournament together. And he didn't really know what I did, but he knew what I did, kind of. He was like, yo, you're a business consultant kind of thing. And he wanted to sit down with me, and I did. And then I kind of blew him away a little bit by everything that he can do. But I'm going to lay out exactly what I described to him. So this way here, you can maybe apply it to your business, because it kind of all applies. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. Strategy for using paid content to get customers, a recent coaching session. I'm going to go through that here in a minute. Before we do, though, I sent an email out this morning, and I wanted to let people know, and the subject line of it was like the truth about why I decided, or why I really did the challenge. Right. And so a good subject line, curiosity. You guys know, if anybody's been watching or paying attention for any period of time, you guys know I'm big on email marketing, email list building. And part of it is coming up with good subject lines. And the subject line is supposed to grab the attention. That's going to grab people's attention. They're like, what's the truth? Like, what? I really want to know the truth, Scott. Why did you really do it? Why did you do it for free? Why did you charge so little? Why did you do that, Scott? It's a great question. So I'm going to break it down and kind of go over exactly what I shared in the email. So bottom line is this. Whenever I'm creating anything, I want it to be extreme value. I want to over deliver, under promise. Okay. So for the challenge, the difference with the challenge is it went for 7 days long, right? So that means that I had to show up every single day. Chris had to show up every single day, and whoever wanted to attend is going to show up. And if they want to attend for free, they just got to show up live. That's how you get access free. So I'm giving it to you for free. I'm not charging anything. You can attend it. Now, I know that not everyone's going to be able to attend free. So we are going to get more attention. So we ended up signing up 762, I think it was, people registered to attend the free live training. Out of those signups, we had a pop-up group, which had, I think it was just under 400. I think it was like 397, 398, something like that, just under 400. So a little more than half of the people that signed up for the, to attend actually said, really, I'm going to be there live, right? So about 400 people. Out of those people, day one, we had about 150 people on live all at once. And then the next day it went to about 130. The next day it went down to about 110. Next day was on a weekend. So it was like maybe 90, 95. Then Sunday was like 75, 80. Then Monday, I think we picked it back up, went to about 90. And then the last day, I think we had right around 80. No, actually, we had under 80 because Chris and I had a bet how many we thought were going to show up live after the 7 days. So the bottom line is, Chris and I, we spent hours preparing for this, hours, okay? Then we went and presented for at least a half hour and then did Q&A. So every day was at least an hour of our time. 7 days, 7 hours, him and I combined, okay? And all the preparation. So if you were to attend one of our masterminds, our inner circles that we've done in the past, $25,000 a year for us to consult with you on your business. We don't do that anymore, okay? If you wanted to come to one of our lake house retreats where we work on your business for 2 days, it's $4,500, okay? So we are worth that, and I believe that, and I'm not saying that to be like arrogant or like, oh, you think you're great. No, it's like that's the going rate for good consultants or good business advice for the right businesses. Businesses that are doing 6 and 7 figures, if I can go in there and write some emails or tweak some things and bring in another $10,000 or $15,000 within weeks, it's going to be worth your time and money, right? So my point is this: the time that we gave is valuable, thousands of dollars probably worth of our time. But the reason why we want to do that is because we want to give value so we can wow you and blow you away. So maybe, just maybe, you might want to join Brand Creators Academy, which is our monthly membership. All right. And that's still very affordable. So to get access to myself and Chris every single month, 2 times a week, by the way, we jump on a call. Right now it's $99 a month, or $297, I think, quarterly, and $997 for the year, right? So still very, very affordable. Now, we aren't doing lake house retreats right now because of COVID, but we will be, and those will probably start again at around $4,500 a business. So the reason why I'm saying this is there's ways for us to still deliver value for free and truly give value, because there's people that went through the challenge, that went through it and did not pay a dime. There's some people that bought the recordings as a VIP for $37 or $47. And now today we are starting a little private promotion to only people that registered for the challenge so they can join Brand Creators Academy. So spoiler alert, like, yes, we want to have people that are coming in that are paying us for our advice. Bottom line, like, there's no smoke and mirrors here, right? Like, I'm being honest. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. And you should be doing the same thing in your business, whether you are doing something similar where you're educating people, or you're creating content and you're giving it away for free, or maybe then you have an ebook or maybe a course or a guide or whatever, and you charge for it. You should not be afraid to sell as long as you provided value and goodwill. Bottom line. Okay. Now, when I first started, I wasn't selling thousands of dollars worth of coaching or, courses that were $1,000 or $2,000 or coaching days or inner circles or any of this stuff. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I had to, over time, build up my skill set. And that's what's going to actually lead into today, because I literally could have turned this coaching call. I could have sold him on the spot to have me do his content and his ads. I could have sold him. And he told me, you could have sold me. And I'll walk you through that story here in a minute. But my point is this: any of you that are starting right now, you can't just come out of the gate and go, I want to charge $1,000 or I want to charge $50. You got to charge enough, but you also need to get people in the door, right? So for me, I know this content creation challenge, the 7-day challenge, I know Chris and I talked about it. It's over 7 hours worth of us teaching. It's got 7 workbooks, which we're paying for, right? We're hosting it on a platform where you can access it. So that costs money. This all costs money. We could charge $300 to $400 for that training all day long, and people would still think they're getting a deal. So why only charge $47, right? Or $37, whatever the cost is or the price that we want to charge. Why so little? Because we want paying people to come in that are committed. And those people are the ones that we will be like, hey, do you want to work with us further? Here's how you can. Anybody that doesn't, they can still get the free content. You can still get it. They can still listen to the coffee talks. They can still listen to the podcast. They can still go to YouTube. They can do all that stuff, right? But when you are doing this in any business, you have to have a way to bring in money, bottom line, right? So that's how you do a hybrid. You always can provide value and give away stuff, good stuff, your best stuff, and still have people pay you, right? I don't hold back on the podcast, by the way. I give you like literally stuff that you could take and implement and make thousands of dollars. I had a guy just message me the other day, and I actually took screenshots of it because I wanted to share it. I'm not going to reveal him. And he was like, Scott, I've been a listener since 2016. I remember you answered a question that I phoned in on. I was doing like phone ins at that time, and I answered his question, and he wanted to know if he should drop his product because he felt it was a dud. And he gave me some feedback on it or some data. And I said to him, I would run with it. And here's what I would do. And I told him that. He told me he sold that business for 7 figures and he did not drop the product. And because of my advice, he was able to exit that business for 7 figures. So he took something that I gave him advice, didn't pay me, by the way, did not pay me. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for anything at all because I know that the return comes on the back end when people that are paying are going to come in and they're going to get the advice and they're going to get to work with you a little bit closer. But you don't have to charge everyone, right? The right people will come through the door. And those are the people that you truly want to work with, right? So what I'm trying to say here is no smoke and mirrors. That's the reason why we did the challenge. We wanted to add goodwill to the marketplace, okay? We wanted to also test out this challenge thing and see if it was something we would want to do. We wanted to see if we had more signups than we would have if we did paid, which we did. Out of those, are there still people that would be willing to buy the recordings? Yes, that was confirmed. And then are there people that are going to want to join Brand Creators Academy? And the answer is yes. Right? So we did it as a test. We did it to add goodwill. We did it so we could get, attention of people that might not want to buy right away, but after they go through the training, they will. So it's a way to get out there, get attention, deliver goodwill, and get people to know who you are before they ever buy from you. We all know that you want to know someone before you shell out some money, right? So yes. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you on that. So hopefully that was helpful. I know I sent an email this morning and I told some people that I was going to be kind of elaborating on that. So that's what I wanted to do there. All right. And I'm going to do a full debrief. Chris and I will inside of Brand Creators Academy. So if you are part of BCA, we will be doing that soon. And any questions you guys have, would love for that. And then anybody that is going to be joining BCA, that's again, something else that we do. We really pull back the curtain on even brand creators, not just on the niche sites that we're building, but on brand creators. Because we know that there's a lot of people coming in that might be coaches. They might be online coaches. They might be people that have a digital product, but don't know how to sell it. They might be building an email list, but don't know how to turn it into money. So we're really not just serving the content creation people. That's part of it. We're really the online entrepreneur that also wants to generate revenue, have a lifestyle, not have a massive team, and have a life. Like that's who we're attracting. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. So any questions on that before we dig in here? And I am going to officially kick this off because I have to record this for a podcast. So I'm going to do it with you guys live. So I wanted to do it. So I'm going to be talking about the strategy for using paid content to get customers, a recent coaching session that I did with a guy at a Starbucks. So I'm going to be giving you guys that. All right, let's see here real quick. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Michael Kim, spent yesterday learning more about the Pinterest homework by watching the course in BCA. What you taught was amazing, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. So much more value in BCA. Michael, yes, and I'm so glad that you went there because after you got through the content creation, yesterday we talked about amplification. Part of that was Pinterest. And yes, I did give you those action steps that you could deploy immediately. But yes, it is a lot deeper if you go into that training, which we have the full training in Brand Creators Academy. Alejandro, even at Starbucks, we all want to be teacher's pet. Yeah. And it's so funny. I actually, I'll give you guys, I'm going to give you guys the whole story so you guys know, but it's funny because I think I've told you guys this story before. Like, I graduated high school barely. Okay. Barely. I struggled. Wasn't good on comprehension. I was good at doing my homework, just not good at comprehension. And because it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was, I wasn't interested. I have to be interested in something. So anyway, after I got done with this call, I mean, I kind of blown him away. I was blowing him away. It was like, he was like, oh my gosh, like, this is like crazy on how, like, I forget how he said it. He goes, how creative your mind thinks about marketing. He goes, I wouldn't think of any of this stuff. And it's just so mind blowing that you can actually do this stuff. So I literally, I wowed him. Right. And to me, it's just like some stuff I know. It's second nature now. But to him, it was like revolutionary. And that made me think, I do know more than I give myself credit for. I could charge a lot of money for it. There's businesses that are making a lot of money that would pay a lot of money for me to do it. So I'm going to do a whole nother podcast episode on how I would turn this little session into a $30,000 a month business. I'm not going to at this point because I don't want an agency. All right. What do you do when you get testimonial from someone that follows you and gave you a testimony for being in your course? What do you do with it? I would ask permission to use it, and then I would take the video and I would use it everywhere I could. Why did you choose 7 days for your challenge instead of 5 or 3? I don't know. It just felt right. I think we needed 7 days to do it, and I wanted bite-sized pieces. I didn't want to cram so much into one. Let's see. Is the 7-day trial require a credit card to register? I think what you're talking about, you kind of that's a little spoiler alert, Derek. That's okay. Yes, it will require a credit card. And then if you want to, end your 7-day trial, then you would just have to let us know before the 7 days, and then we won't bill your card. What platform do you use to host your courses? Ours is Kajabi. What do you think about repurposing content of others? We can talk about that after. Is BCA your main income source? Is membership the best way to earn income? What are your other top ways? It's one of my ways. My Airbnb is doing really well this year, guys. It's already booked through August, which is crazy. That one's doing super well. But BCA is definitely one of the main for sure. And I want it to be. That's my focus. I just sold my other business last year, so I'm going all in here. And then these niche sites I'm building are case studies. They're also going to be supplemental income. Let's call it that. The 7 days were awesome content that deployed even when it was not perfect. I got out of my own way. Yeah, you did, Derek, and I'm proud of you, man. You did a great job. We all should do exactly what you're doing. A podcast 1 to 3 times a week within our niche, walk our talk, build from there. Yes. Again, I wouldn't overwhelm yourself, but yeah, I mean, if you can get consistent on something, do it. Like, I don't miss. You guys know that. If you guys are here, I don't miss, right? Even if I'm in the car coming back from Florida, because we were on the way back from a beach tournament, I fired up the camera and had my wife drive. It's just, even if that content isn't going to be my best, I'm staying consistent. All right, let's do this. Let's absolutely do this. Are you ever going to tell us your Airbnb strategy? Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do a coffee talk. If you guys want to hear more about it, I'll give you guys all that. I'll give you the numbers. It's mind blowing, but it's expensive to get into the game. I never could have gotten into this game probably 10 years ago. And even now to roll another Airbnb out at the level of what this is at, I would not want to shell out the money right now because the housing is so high right now. So it's good if you have the house, and if you were going to Airbnb it on, like ours is on a lake, then it's good. Anything over that, like if right now, or anything that's just Airbnb in general, doesn't mean it's going to be great. What makes this great is its niche. I always talk about niching. It's a lake house. It's a house on the lake, and it's a high-end house, meaning it has to meet certain criteria. The guy that I'm using to manage it for me, he only allows houses that are high level. So you got to feel like when you walk in the house, you're like, wow, this feels like it's on like one of those TV channels that was redone, on like Magnolia or something, and that's what they are. So you can get top dollar, and the money is crazy that you can make on these, but there's also, there's a risk, right? Like there's money on the line here. It's not like building out a niche site. You're like, oh, I might be out $5,000 or $10,000. You could be out hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. It'd be fun. All right, cool. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and share this strategy. And then you guys, if you have any questions, let me know. And I'm going to kick this baby off. All right. I'm going to get my notes up. All right. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down a recent coaching session that I had at a Starbucks from a gentleman that I met through my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, who played a beach volleyball tournament. It was 2-on-2, and her partner's father and I struck up a conversation. And of course, I usually get asked, what do you do for a living? And then then we get into it. And after I started talking to him, he was really respectful as far as like, he didn't ask me a lot of questions about like what he could do for his business, but he was just interested and intrigued. And so he said, hey, when we get back, do you mind meeting for coffee? And maybe I got some ideas for my business and I'd love your advice. And I'm like, sure. So I did that. And I want to give you guys what I laid out for him, because what I laid out for him could mean thousands, could be hundreds of thousands of dollars for him and his business, whether it's the next 6 months, year, 2 years. And this could work with any business. Now, we are going to be talking about local business because that's where he is looking to grow his business, but this could work anywhere. And it's a strategy that I'm actually using inside of Brand Creators. It's the same similar strategy. It's actually a strategy that I used for my son, who has a local vertical jumping business. So this stuff works. The other thing that I want to say here, and I'm going to do another follow-up episode on how this exact strategy and me doing this coaching call with him, or this coaching session, how this also led me to start thinking, wow, if I wanted to do this as a company, as an agency, I could probably do it. And I could probably get businesses to pay me a good amount of money every single month to manage this, and probably turn this into a $30,000 plus business per month. Now, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to elaborate on that in a follow-up episode, because I think it's important that we understand that what you're learning right now is a skill set that you'll have and you'll build on. There's things that, yes, they change, they evolve. You learn a new strategy, a new tactic, whatever, but marketing is marketing. Okay. And marketing does change, but marketing is marketing. People are people. When you're communicating a message to a person, if you can enter the conversation already happening in their mind, game over. Right. And I'm going to share with you, really how this whole thing transpired, but I'm going to give you the steps that I gave him. All right. And in the order. And then I'm going to give you I gave him some actually ideas for content that he could create to get attention in his market. So I'm going to give you guys those. I sent those his way and he was just kind of blown away by that. All right. So that's what I'm going to be doing. All right. So this here is the strategy for using paid content to get customers. So let me give you a little backstory on him. He sells insurance. All right. He sells insurance. Now he's not he's like a broker. Okay. So he's a little different. He's not like State Farm or Geico or any of the big names, right? He shops the best insurance policy for you, right? Now he may have 8 different insurance agency, or not even agencies, companies that he'll see what is the best plan for you, because everyone's plan is different. And that's what he was saying. He was like, I've worked for some of the bigger ones and they have 1 or 2 or 3 different plans, and that you have to fit it into your plan or your stuff. And so he was like, and I also want to go after people that have more stuff. I want to go after people that have boats, RVs, multiple cars, maybe multiple houses. Why? Because it's bigger policy. Makes sense. And I'm like, okay. So I just listened to what he was saying. And I said, all right, I've already got my creative wheels going here. What you need to do is you need to get attention of that person. So you need to attract the right people and repel the other people. Now, most people would go, why don't you just run billboards? Billboards. Everybody does billboards. No, we don't want to do billboards. It's a waste of money in my eyes because you're hoping that someone looks up there and remembers you, or maybe it's just a branding play. You can do it so much cheaper. You can do it so much for pennies, and it can appear that you're everywhere. You can almost become famous in your area or in your market. All right. And so here's the strategy overall. You basically want to put out content that attracts that person, right? So it starts with the headline or the subject line, something that's going to grab their attention. So I said to him, I go, the first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what is something that if someone is scrolling in Facebook, now we're going to use Facebook in this example, but this could work on other platforms, but we're going to use Facebook because it's super easy to do. Okay. So I said, the first thing we need to figure out is the hook. What is the hook that people are searching for? Like, or even if they're not looking for it, what would get their attention? Right. And so, he started thinking, he's like, well, yeah, I mean, people, I guess, want to save money, but in the same breath, they want to be fully protected. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So you have to almost like put it out there so you can get their attention. So I got him thinking, and he was like, yeah, I think I got some good ideas. And I'm like, here's the other thing. Because he's got his own part of the business, but then he also is part of a bigger organization, but he's his own business in a sense. So he said, I don't have to get approval or anything when I'm doing this stuff because I'm bringing clients in for myself. But if I wanted to do anything further or anything outside of my scope, I'd have to get approvals and I'd have to bring it to and the guy that runs it is really old school. He wouldn't want to do any of this stuff. And that is exactly my point. Most of the time, conventional marketing is like, let's run some newspaper stuff. Let's run some flyers, some mailers. Let's do that type of stuff. And to me, that's old school. It can work, but it's also risky. We can do it a lot easier and a lot cheaper. And so my first thing for him was we need to come up with 3 to 6 different angles. All right. We need to use content. And my other point that I was going to make there before I got off on that little side tangent was I said to him, I go, you are the one that needs to be on video. Because he's a likable guy. He's genuine. He really does want to help people because he feels people are being false represented, or at least they're not being educated, because if you call Geico, you're only going to get Geico numbers, right? You're only going to get their plans, or you're only going to get, whatever, Aflac or any of the other ones, right? So he's like, people just don't get the right coverage because they're kind of boxed in. And I said, so you really want to help these people? And he's like, yeah, I really do. And I'm like, you need to be on camera. And it can't be fancy, because if I'm scrolling through and I see this corporate-y looking insurance-y thing with a guy in a suit and tie, I'm turned off, right? The everyday person just wants to connect with an everyday person, the guy next door, the girl next door, right? So if there's one thing that you can take away from this right here is being authentic, being transparent. That's how you build trust, right? How many times have you walked into a paint store and you struck up a conversation with the guy mixing paint, and then you started talking about other things and you just felt like the guy's a good guy. He's got my best interest, for him. He's looking out for my best interest. We've all done that. We feel more comfortable. We feel confident. We feel safe, right? So I said to him, I need you to take your cell phone and record yourself some videos. Keep them to 3 to 5 minutes and just hit the chord, right? Like hit that hook, and then just share an experience with one of your clients, and then say, if you guys want me to take a look at your plan or at your, whatever, give me a call, right? That's it. And he's like, man, that's so good. That's so good. I could totally do that. I could see how that would be good. And he's like, but how am I going to get in front of people? I go, glad you asked. Very, very simple. So here's the cool thing. What we're going to do is we're going to run these on Facebook. And we're not going to run these as conversion ads necessarily right now. Now, I'm not going to get in the weeds of Facebook ads and all that stuff. And I'm not a Facebook ads expert. Chris Schaefer, who's on my team, is, he's a Facebook ads expert. But I'm getting better. And I know enough to be dangerous. Okay. But I'm not the expert. Okay. But to this guy, I'm an expert, right? Again, you're always a little bit further ahead. If you know a little bit more than someone else, you are more of an expert than that person. I think we would agree on that, right? And we all have a skill set that we don't give ourselves credit for. So basically I laid it out for him very, very simply. I said, this is what you do. Get those videos shot. We're going to upload those to Facebook. We're going to actually put a post on your business page. And then we're going to we're not going to boost it, by the way. We're going to turn that into a video engagement ad. That's it. And we're going to get video views for probably 3 cents, 5 cents. Okay. And then what we can do is we can see, okay, someone watched 15 seconds, someone watched 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Okay. And then we can go, wow, this message is really resonating with people. This message is not resonating with people. So for basically $10 a day, local market, I would basically put a marker. Okay, I'd be like, okay, where's your office? Where's your office or where is your location that you want to put in the center? And then you want a 15-mile radius, 20-mile radius, whatever. What is that area? We're going to drop a pin and we're going to tell Facebook we want to go 10 to 15 miles out of that, in that circumference around there, right? And we're going to blanket that area, and we're going to maybe we target people that are married and people that are between the ages of 30 and 65, right? And we do just some basic targeting that way locally. The thing when you're doing locally is you can blanket your area for cheap. So for $10 a day, we can be seen a lot, okay? So that's what I advised him to do. And so I said, so what you would do is take those videos, you'd upload them to your page. Now you're going to run them as a video engagement ad. That basically means that your Facebook is only trying to get you engagement. They're trying to get views and they're trying to get engagement like a like, a comment, an emoji, a share, any of that stuff, right? And as that starts to go out there, you're starting to be seen by everyone in your area that you're targeting, right? So that's where the hook comes in, and that's where your video comes in. But now the cool thing is you might not get any phone calls right away because it takes some time to get out there and be seen, right? Now all of a sudden you're starting to be shown everywhere, okay, to that person. So the minute that someone sees a piece of your content, now we can retarget them with more content. And now they're seeing you again and seeing you again. And so I gave them that example. I said, hey, I want you to imagine this. What if I could, when someone walks in your office, they're interested because they came in your office and they wanted you to answer questions. And then as they were there, you went up and you patted them on the back, on the shoulder, and you put a little device on there that would basically allow you to make all the billboards that person sees you. And he's like, wow. And I go, that's a Facebook ad retargeting. That's what you can do. It's crazy, right? And for pennies, right? And so I said to him, I go, so that's what I would do. I'd run these as engagement ads locally, $5 a day, $10 a day, right? And that's it, okay? And then I would retarget anyone that has viewed maybe, 25% or more, depending on how long the video is. If the video is 2 minutes long, 25% is a good amount, right? That means someone's interested. They're not just scrolling, okay? Now, you're going to get phone calls, right? You're going to get people that are going to like, you're going to get people that are going to share, whatever. But that information in there also has to be helpful and useful and also has to be attention getting. So that's everything in a nutshell. That's how it works, right? It's not hard, right? 3 videos to start, 3 different angles, upload them to Facebook, go into your Facebook ads manager and turn them into video engagement ads. Create a campaign, create one ad set for your local market, pin it, and say 15-mile radius, put in 3 pieces of creative in the ad. That's it. That's all you would have to do. $10 a day, walk away and wait for the phone to ring, right? That's it. That's all you would have to do. Now, sometimes you're going to get a call, sometimes you're not. But here's the thing. To show up again and again and again, we can start adding more videos into that bucket, or even just an image if we want to at that point, because we know that they're interested by how much they viewed, and then we can start building a retargeting audience. Now, what we can do is we can take that retargeting audience and we can make a 1% lookalike of that audience. But again, that's more advanced. We don't need to do that yet. But there's so much we can do for not that much money to get you exposure. So again, you could take that information right there, figure out that little piece, and go to your local business and go, want me to get you seen in your area? I can do it for you, and I'll charge you $500 a month, and you'll spend $20 a day. It'll get you exposure. You can do it for a pizza shop. You could do it for, orthodontist. You could do it for anybody. Okay. So again, Not saying that you're going to do this, but when you have a skill set and that you've learned and that you've used, it all kind of brings it back to what you could offer someone else or what you can do in your own business. So how could you do this if you were creating content for your website? Maybe there's a piece of content on your website that you want to just do video engagement to, right? Maybe you're going to do a little video and then it's going to drive over to a blog post, but that blog post is all about products, right? It's about your products or someone else's products or an affiliate product or whatever. You could totally do that too, right? Now, I'm not saying that I would do that right out of the gate, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be just local. It could be out there. I've done that before. So right now we are promoting digital product creation fast track and the email list building fast track workshop. Those two we're promoting right now. What I'm doing, being totally transparent with you guys, I basically took 3 coffee talks that we were talking about digital products. Okay. And I forget what it was, but it was like, if you're creating digital products, make sure that you do this first. If you're building an email list, don't make these 3 mistakes, something like that. Right. And I just chopped out the piece that I wanted to amplify, that I wanted to run ads to. I made it shorter. One of them might be 5 minutes. One might be 10 minutes. They're longer. And then what I did is I turned it into a video engagement. So for $10 a day, I can say, I want this to go out to anyone that follows Tony Robbins. And then anyone that follows Tony Robbins, I can be in front of that audience. Now for $10 a day, it's not going to be thousands of people. It might be over time, but that's how I can take my content and start to not even sell, but to get people interested by them viewing or by them interacting. And now they become part of my audience and my custom audience that I can then show more stuff to, right? So I took that concept, I brought it in, I narrowed it down to just local for this guy. And it was about a 40-minute conversation. And he said, so is that what you do? Do you do that for companies? And I go, oh, no, I don't. And he goes, oh, I thought you did that. I was saying I'm ready. And I go, well, no, I don't do it. I don't want to be an agency at this point. I said, it's very easy to set up. I go, I wouldn't mind, sharing with you some stuff that we've created in the academy. I can share like some tutorials for you. And we'll probably be doing more in the academy on this stuff too. And I go, but I'd be more than happy to just get you set up. It's not that hard. And he was like, oh, because it seems like a lot of work and this. And I go, yeah, for someone that's never done it. I go, and he goes, I've even thought about, like doing little seminars for people that would educate them on insurance. So this way here, they can be protected, but they also can make sure they're saving money and all that stuff. I go, that'd be a great lead magnet, right? It'd be a good webinar. And he goes, yeah, I've been on webinars before. I go, okay, I'm going to give you an example right now. Cause he said also, this is the other thing he said, he goes, the guy that owns the bigger portion of the company, he's not a huge fan of giving stuff away for free. And he goes, but I see what you're doing. It could really work. It would build that trust. And I go, yeah. I go, here, I'm going to give you an example. I go, you and I have been together now for 40 minutes. We're both sipping on coffee. I just went through that whole thing, that whole strategy. And I said, go do it. I said, but if I turned around and said, that's how you do it, go off and do it. I go, but I'll tell you what, for 5 businesses, I'm going to be doing this for them. All you need to do is pay me, I don't know, $1,500 a month, or maybe, I start at $1,500 a month. And then if it works out for us, my price goes to $3,000, but it's only if it's going to work for you, right? And then we'll spend $20 a day. Most marketing budgets are a lot higher than that. I said, if I made you an offer after doing that, would you be ready to buy? He goes, absolutely. I go, that's what a webinar is. That's what a webinar is, right? I delivered value, told you exactly what you need to do and how to do it. In a sense, I didn't show you like looking over my shoulder, but I gave you the ingredients. I gave you the recipe. You just got to go do it. Or I can do it for you for $1,500 a month. You want to sign? Like, that's literally how easy it is to sell when you're delivering value, right? Same thing. We just wrapped up a 7-day content creation challenge. Free if you attended live. If you didn't attend live, you want the recordings, it was $47. Okay. Once you come in as $47, now we can also make you an offer to join Brand Creators Academy, which we then go deeper into building your brand, right? So there's ways to give value without having to sell them right up front and just deliver value. And you can do that at scale if you use something like a Facebook ad. And then you can build that audience and you can do all of that stuff. So that's the strategy that I gave him. And I actually want to give you some of those subject lines and headlines, the hooks that I gave him. I was just brainstorming for him. I had a couple ideas and I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and write these down and I'm going to send them to him. And so I'm going to give you those right now. These are what I call the attract and repel copy. All right. So just again, this is just for ideas. And these were totally off the cuff. I do not know. Little disclaimer here. I don't know if these are accurate. I just wanted to give him some ideas of where I was going with this. All right. So here's what I did. I said, okay, if you're going to create an ad, you need the subject line to get attention and your video needs to explain what you're saying in the copy, right? In the subject line. So here's the first one I came up with. Your home insurance might not be protecting you. 3 things to check as soon as possible so you know you're fully protected, right? So if I'm scrolling and I see that and someone's talking on there and it says your home insurance might not be protecting you, I'm like stopping. I'm like, I think mine's protecting me. I don't know. I might scroll by it, but I seen his face. And then there might be another video that comes up with a different subject line that gets my attention. You see how that works? So that one there was a quick one, right? The next one is, did you know 80% of homeowners are at risk of not being fully insured? It's true. And I want to share a simple checklist that will let you know in 5 minutes so you're not at risk. Watch the video for details, or watch the video and I'll explain. And then it would be him being like, yeah, it's true. Did you know 80% of homeowners are at risk of not being fully insured? And the reason why is because they're boxed in with a plan from a major insurance provider. I know this because I've worked with I've worked at major, insurance companies for years. And I know that you're kind of boxed into that plan. What I do is different. I go out and I find the best one for you. If you have RVs, there's a better one for you. If you have toys, like ATVs and boats and things like that, there's a totally different plan for you, right? And this here protects you, but also makes sure that you're not wasting money, right? If you guys want any more information on that, if you want me to look over your plan, just give me a call, 518, yada, 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 right? Like that's it. And you're done. That's the video. Okay. Let me go to another one here. Your home could be at risk of not being fully covered from a fire, right? Or you could even turn that around and go, is your house insured, or are you sure that your home is 100% insured for fire coverage? It might not be, right? Like something like that. And then I just said, it's true. And it's something that you can check within 3 minutes. This could potentially save you from a huge loss and headaches after it's too late, right? The next one here is really calling out that person that has a lot of toys. All right. So that one, this next one is, are your cars, boats, RVs, and homes truly safe? The truth is that most big name insurance companies are not giving the best policy to their customers. They are looking out for their best interest and not yours. Watch the video to learn a simple 3-minute check that will I got it written here wrong. 3 minutes. So that way there you can see if you're covered, whatever, right? I totally did this in about 10 minutes. I wrote all of these. I took a screenshot of this and then I sent it to him. And he was like, I'll actually read what he said. Let me go back to his message real quick because I thought it was funny. He had said, let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Let's see. Yeah, now I can't find his message. It's buried. Okay, here it is. So he basically says, you are who you say you are. Those sound great. I can easily tweak or expand on those in a video. Your creative mind is incredible. And I said, I'm just getting started. I said, I don't know the market, so I'm making stuff up. The local market is yours for the taking. And he said, it's really good stuff. Okay, I've got to get busy and make it happen. Right? So he's excited. But this is stuff that I've been doing for years. I've been learning for years. I've been doing this a long time. And I'm not saying that any of these are going to work, but that's where you start, right? And this doesn't, if you're writing email, same idea. If you're creating a Facebook ad, same idea. If you're writing a sales page, same idea. Got to get attention. We got to tell them what we got, right? How we can help them. And here's what to do next. Like it's literally that simple. Okay. So anyway, wanted to share that with you. So I'll just recap here real quick. The strategy. Number 1, use content. Okay. Use content, videos, images, And a lot of times a good subject line, if you're hung up, a good subject line is read this if you want to protect your home fully from fire or something, right? Read this if you want to save money on your insurance, whatever, right? Read this if. Okay, so second thing is use 3 to 6 different angles. And what I mean by that is you might use the boat and RV angle. You might use the fire protection. You might have another angle that's you want to save money. And what you do here is then you can kind of look and see from the engagement which one got more engagement and more views. So this way here you can go, that one resonated more. This one here didn't. Let's cut that one and do more on this angle. So now we're testing angles. Okay. So 3 to 6 to start. 3 is post on your Facebook business page. 4, run them in as engagement ads, locally target if that was the case, if it was a local business. Start at $5 a day, and then you can always graduate to $10 a day once you start to get some momentum. And then 5, retarget anyone that engages with the ads with new content with a call to action. So after they've engaged, you're retargeting. You can be, like, hey, it's Phil again. Just wanted to just drop back in again. If you have any questions on your insurance, literally it'll take you 3 minutes. We can look it over, make sure that you're not overpaying and also that you're fully protected. If you want more details on that, just give me a call. I got my cell phone. You'll get me personally. You're not going to get the big agency. That's not how I do it. And I basically work for you. So if you want a phone call, jump on with me right here. Just go ahead and enter that, or give me a call, whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? That's it. That's all you do. So you can go more for the phone call in that case, or more for the sale after someone's engaged with your content. All right. So that's how you do it. Now, again, you might be thinking, Scott, this doesn't really apply to me. It does apply to you. Okay. And I'm not going to go in all the details right now. We'll probably do more Facebook ad stuff. I'm not an expert. Chris really is. We're playing right now in the Facebook ads, sandbox. And it's not easy, but it does work. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do, but you got to keep it simple, right? You got to keep it simple, but it does come down to creating content that resonates with your market, attracting the right people, repelling the rest. All right. We only want to talk or speak with people and get the attention of people that are interested in what we have to offer. Bottom line. All right. I mean, the same thing goes when we are doing like a giveaway to build our email list. We don't want that giveaway to be just of like, oh, we're going to raffle off an iPad. Everyone wants an iPad. Instead, I want to do a, the ultimate bass fishing kit, right? Anyone that's interested in bass fishing, and I'm going to target bass fishing people, then I know I've got the right audience, right? Or if I'm doing something on woodworking, I would then have a woodworking bundle and I would target woodworking people that are interested in woodworking or follow woodworking magazines, right? That's how I would do it. We only want to attract the right people. All right. So that's what I got for you here today. Hopefully this has been helpful. The bottom line is create content that gets attention, attracts the right people, repels the rest, and then from there, deliver on your promise. That's it in a nutshell. Cut. That's a cut. All right, guys. I know that was a little crazy, right? Went a little crazy there. What do we got? We got any questions on that? I know that was a little random, but I wanted to share that with you. Let's see. Well, Derek had asked before, what do you think about repurposing content of others? Yeah, I don't want you to repurpose people's content. If you want to use it as inspiration, that's fine. But I would not use it and repurpose their content. I would take, if they have a video on YouTube and you want to embed it in your post because your post talks about it, then yeah, absolutely. You could do that. Let's see. Is BCA? Okay, I already did that. Kate asked, can you share how many people joined BCA due to the challenge? As of right now, the verdict's still out. We're not done. So, but inside of BCA, Kate, I will definitely be sharing that. Let's see. Derek says Facebook is going through a lot of changes, good ones for putting us on live and much more. StreamYard records for free. I got a notification when I posted. Yeah, I agree with everything there. I don't know if that's a question. Derek says the 7 days were awesome content that I deployed. Even when it was not perfect, I got out of my own way and did it without perfectionism. Yes, that's important. Same thing I told this guy. I said, listen, don't get hung up on the video stuff and the quality and all that stuff. Use your phone, get a tripod, make sure you got some good lighting. I mean, just be outside maybe or something, but just be natural. Don't be on green screen or trying to look fancy. Let's see. Okay. Michael says, what do you recommend as a high-level roadmap for a beginner to eventually create the income? Free content to low-cost ebooks for email lists to products, and then courses plus membership? It's a great question, Michael. Okay. In a perfect world, depending on your market, this is what I could probably do a whole podcast on this and a whole episode, or we could even talk about it in BCA. In a perfect world, if you had something that you could teach someone, all right, if you could teach someone something, then I would say your best bet is to create a workshop that you would jump on. And I use my buddy Octavio from BCA. He's in the plant-based market. If he was to do a workshop where he was going to give you education on going plant-based, maybe even he could even do a 7-day challenge and then turn that into a paid product on the back end like I did. Or he can just do a workshop and say, hey, on the weekend, I'm going to be doing a 2-hour plant-based diet workshop. We're going to go over what you need to know before starting. You need to know what types of foods, how to prepare them, and also how to stay on track when you go out, right, to restaurants. So you could literally advertise that and then get people to pay up front for $27, and maybe you have something on the back end that you could sell them. That's where I would start. Like, I would start with a low ticket price, even an ebook. If you had an ebook and you compiled it, I'd make that my front end, but then I would want a back end on that. And the back end could be the workshop, or it could be an audiobook, or it could be a video training that goes along with it. In a perfect world, I would use that as my revenue model. I would not start with a membership. And the reason is because there's more mechanics that go into it. There's more pressure on you to deliver and keep it going, right? And you have to worry about churn, and you got to worry about, people saying that their card got billed and they wanted to cancel. And then you get cards that get declined and all of that stuff. There's a lot more that goes into it that people tell you. It works, and we're doing it right now ourselves. And I've run other memberships. I had a membership that I had over 1,000 members in the photography space. I had it for over 5 years. Worked great. But before that, I did little mini digital products. I did templates. I sold things on eBay that were digital. Like, I did all that stuff to really get my feet wet and to also start building a customer list, right? So I would say, and this is what we teach inside BCA, by the way, Michael, and I know you're part of it. Just create your first digital product, right? And your first digital product, if you go through the digital product creation fast track workshop, it'll outline exactly how to do that quickly. And then create that first digital product. Then the next thing would be like, okay, create the next thing in line of that, in the back end of that. So it would be like your bump, your order bump, or your upsell. So I would try to find what that is and build that out. It could be a challenge too. You could do the challenge, and just like we did, advertise it as free, anybody that attends live. And then if anybody wants the recordings, you can offer them for $27 or $19. You don't have to, it doesn't matter at that point. It's digital, right? And then you're building the training at the same time. So yeah, I don't know I would go that membership route yet. Let's see. Will you go over some of the integration tools so we can make sure we put everything into place as it should be? For what, Derek? Just can you elaborate on that? Alpandro, find your audience's fears, and then you pour salt on the wound in your headline for your ad. Yeah, I'd like to make it sound a little nicer than that, but yes, we are, in a sense, we're entering the conversation that they're having in their own head, and we want to know that we understand, but we also want to know that we have the solution. So yes. Kyle, I went down the agency route for Facebook ads last year, but I quickly realized it's not for me. Yeah, because it's a lot of responsibility, right? It's a lot of responsibility for you and a lot of expectations. That's why if you are ever going to go down the ad agency route, you always want clear expectations, and you want them to understand what to expect, right? You don't want to promise, yeah, it's the minute we do this, you're going to get a whole bunch of phone calls. No, it's going to probably take a good solid 30 to 60 days to get yourself seated out there, get yourself out there, like being on those billboards. Then the phone will start ringing. So you have to be very upfront. And yeah, it is a lot of stress. What's up, Brandon? Good morning. Alejandro says, sign me up with the insurance guy. Kate says, this is gold. I'm glad. It felt like I was just rambling a little bit. Action gives clarity. Alejandro, you absolutely don't give yourself credit for all you know. You're hands down my best and favorite professor. Stay safe, and we'll see you Friday. All right, boom. So this works with agency and any business that use paid strategy. Yeah, every business should use a paid strategy, by the way, eventually. You can grow a lot faster with paid. The organic side of things, the thing we did with the content creation challenge, it's all organic. It works. It takes time, right? So there's like strategies that are going to be working like on autopilot. And then there's some that you're going to be doing for promotions, or you're going to be doing to build your email list and all of those things. But that content creation thing is kind of being done in the background. Let's see. The analytic integration. For Google Analytics, I think it's called Sitemap, I think, or Site something. Derek, that's Chris had mentioned that in our last Q&A call, I believe. But yeah, it's basically you're just integrating Google Analytics. So it's Google Analytics is what you're going to be using. Who would you hire to help you with challenge or mini shop if you are new at this? Well, I guess, like, Salma, what are you looking to do? I mean, the digital product creation fast track workshop, I actually broke down the how we sold that and how we built it. So a lot of what you need to know is right in there. Now I may be doing something in the future, and it might be maybe as a side of the digital product creation fast track workshop. Maybe I'll add something in there that goes over how we've done these, how I've done the challenge, how we've done the workshops. Because it's not hard. It does require some work. You got to do some pre-work, some prep. You got to sell it, and you got to prepare it, and then you got to go live, and then you got to bundle it and put it into an area where people can access it. All of this stuff isn't hard, but it does require to follow these steps. I mean, honestly, I think in digital product creation fast track, that whole section on that, I think would help you if you're going to go down that road. Tech is what you're worried about. Tech should not be the part that you're worried about. The delivery of it is very, very simple. I mean, take the challenge we just did, free Facebook group, right? But it was private. And then we use StreamYard to broadcast in there. If you didn't want to use StreamYard, you could just use Facebook Live and just go live in there. We use StreamYard because it gives a higher quality recording. It also gives you a few other tools where you can see all the comments in the chat. You can do lower thirds and stuff. So I would say, to keep it very simple, like, you literally sell it through PayPal. You can just give a PayPal button. And then from there, you're going to have people's email address. You're going to let them know about the private group. You're going to send them an invitation to the private group. And then you're going to stream inside of that Facebook group. And that's it. You're done. That's how you deliver it. And then if you just want to give them access to the Facebook group, and that's where all the videos are, that's where they can go access it. You don't even need a membership area to do it. You can keep it really, really simple. Derek, Google Analytics is what I use along with Yoast, but it keeps asking me to do this, that, and the other. Just need to know what is enough. Yeah, as far as Yoast goes, don't get too hung up on the Yoast numbers. Try to just, again, Chris went over it in pretty good detail. We also cover that in the playbook. I think you have the playbook. I go through the playbook for Yoast. I wouldn't get hung up there. I would not get hung up on Yoast. It's there for a recommendation. It doesn't mean it's got to be all green in order to rank. All right. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up this call. It was long today. We went an hour. I didn't plan on going that long, but I had two things I wanted to discuss, and that's what we did. So Friday, let me see here. Do I have my topic for Friday already? I think I do. Let's see. Yeah. I think this one, Salomon, I think this one came from you. How important is it to build a community for my brand, and what's the best place? So that's what we're going to be talking about Friday. So all about building community, about building your audience, and what platforms should we be using? I've got a little bit of experience with this, so I'm going to share that on Friday's Coffee Talk. So be here if you're interested in that. And if you have any other questions, we'll answer them on that call as well. And in the meantime, if you've been through the challenge, if you're VIP, you should already have access to all the recordings, all the workbooks. Also, anyone that's went through the challenge, whether you paid or you're free, you're going to be getting a special invite today to join Brand Creators Academy. So if you did go through the challenge, keep an eye out for that. It will be a limited time offer. So if you're interested, now would be the time. And I'm sure that I'll be sending you some reminders. So keep an eye out on that inbox. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap up this coffee talk. Have an awesome, amazing day. I'll be back here Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. As usual, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. And some of you, I'll see you inside BCA. We'll see you soon, guys.